I'd like to welcome to the stage Daisy Amodio.
Thank you. Right, hi. I guess you all know my name now and what I do. I hope you enjoyed that. It's all very cute. I looked at everyone's faces and you're all smiling, so hopefully you don't think it's bonkers and that it's just cute. Okay, so I've got a few PowerPoint slides, mainly because I can't remember everything, but now I see I've got this, so I probably didn't need all this. I'm going to talk to you about how to use the media better. So firstly, to get to how I've got so much media, I'm just going to give you a little bit background about who I am, who the proposers are, and how the business came to be, because it is quite unique, and that's how I get the press. So I'm going to talk to you about the USP. Everyone today, well, actually the last couple of days, have talked about a unique selling point, and there's no point having a business if you don't have that. So I'm going to talk to you about that. The pros and cons of the media, it's not always good. And then I'm just going to give you my point of view on how to get press, radio, TV. If you want an agent, how to get an agent, all of that stuff is just kind of my top tips. And then the last thing is the why, which I'm pretty sure Alan just mentioned, but the why is the most important thing as well. Right, I'm going to go through this really quickly because I think you already know. I'm probably probably the #1 proposal planner in the world, having planned over 1,200. I feel nervous. I don't know why. I've had my own TV show. Right, I've got 15 years experience in the creative industry, so I've had the business for 6 years, but before that I worked at Saatchi & Saatchi, which is an advertising agency, and there I just basically clients would come to me and I'd create ideas for them for TV, radio and press, so it's kind of helped me in this business. And I worked on Lexus, Toyota, Gucci, John Lewis, so some really, really big brands, so that's definitely helped. I'm regularly on TV, so BBC Worldwide News, if you can get on that, that goes to 400 million homes every day, and I'm probably on it once a month, so that massively helps because that's worldwide exposure. I'm the BBC's go-to girl for anything proposal related, so if, for example, someone got engaged, a celeb, or there's a new trend or anything, they'll literally call me up to come on radio straight away. And I'm often on ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, so there's always TV shows and they want to show a proposal or they want an expert to speak. So they know who I am. So I'm always on things like that. And that's really good to link to big brands. I had my own TV series, which aired globally. It got sold to 12 countries around the world. And it's a reality TV show, like most things these days. So it just followed myself and my team to lots of different countries. And we just created really magical proposals. And it's called The Proposers as well, which is really great because that's the name of the business. I've got a book deal, so I'm going to tell you about that. And I'm featured in press worldwide, probably 10 times over. Sometimes I have to turn it down because I can't possibly talk to everyone so much. Right, so here we are. As you know, we're the first UK and European marriage proposal planning company. There is a company in America that I think kind of pipped us to the post, but I'm not quite sure. So it's around the same time, and we help each other out across the pond. I've planned 1,200 events. They're all pretty unique. And the whole business is based on personalisation, so we really delve into what the couple want to make us different. We have lots of different clients, from painters, builders, plumbers, and we've had Arab royalty. We had an NFL player last week. We've even had porn stars. And typically they wanted everything naked, not us, them. They wanted to be naked, and we had to print off loads of naked pictures of them. And there we are in Boots trying to print off pictures without the people seeing. It's really embarrassing. But I did debate, should we do a porn star's proposal? But that's what they like. That's what they want to do, so fine, everyone's different. Budgets have ranged from 1,000 to 250,000. Like I said the other day, we had someone that came in with $1 million, but it is just for 2 people. So I'm sure we will do those budgets one day, but right now this is where we've got to. I have a team of 5. We're in Soho. We plan sort of between 8 and 25 events a month, mainly in December and February. They're the biggest, and I suppose the summer if the weather's good. Right. Okay. So probably like most people and businesses starting out, you don't have any content, right? You're basically saying you want to be a wedding planner or a proposal planner or a florist, but you actually haven't got any of this stuff. Like, how are you going to set up a website? Where are you going to get your content from? So I lied. Basically, I wasn't just become a proposal planner. I had 2 stories. So I'm going to tell you both the stories. and you can see why I lied. So the real story of how I become a proposal planner is that my brother asked me to plan his proposal, and it was just sweet. I planned a treasure hunt around London. They ended up at a rooftop terrace in London with a nice view, and they proposed. That's the story. It's not that exciting, is it? I don't think the media are going to really write about that, because the media want controversial, a little bit interesting. So I had a friend at the time that was a journalist, and she said, you just need a bit more of a story. So she created this story, and now I've got to stick to it. But so the story is that I finished work and I was walking through Hyde Park one evening, and I saw a guy spelling out, "Make me the happiest man alive" in candles. However, he spelt happiest wrong. And not only that, it was really windy and all the candles were blowing out. So I ran over and I said, "Look, what are you doing? Do you need some help?" He's like, "I'm about to propose, she's going to be here in 2 minutes." And he was panicking. He was almost crying. So I helped him, I spelt it right, I put all the candles out, everything looked lovely. He said, "Can you take some pictures?" So I ran behind a tree, I took pictures of the moment, and she said yes, it was all amazing. And afterwards, he came over and he said, "Wow, you just saved my marriage proposal." That's the story. So after that... So anyway, that's a bit more media friendly. So after that, I basically went to the pub, this is true, and I Googled proposal planner, and nothing else in the world came up, like nothing. And I just thought, have I just stumbled onto something else? Have I spotted a gap in the market? And I had. There was nothing else, but I had to start somewhere, and that's how I started. So after that, I obviously had to go and do proposals. Like, I can't just pretend I do it just because I did my brother's. So I did some research, and I did a questionnaire. I sent it to 500 men, and the men actually said, "Well, what's wrong with getting down on one knee? Why would I spend any money on that?" So the questionnaire didn't come back how I wanted it to come back, but I didn't believe it. Anyway, I just wanted to do it. And all my friends and family just said, "You're bonkers. What's wrong? Like, why are you going to give up your really good job to do something that's kind of unheard of? Like, people just get down on one knee." But I knew where the world was going, and I knew that everyone wants personalisation. You don't want the worst wedding, do you? You want the best wedding. So you want the best proposal. It's a story that's going to be told time and time again. So I did my research, and I put a plan of action together, and I just faked it till I made it. So I did lots of like friends' proposals. Then clients started coming in. And then I had to do them really, really cheap, obviously, to get the content for the website. I think, awesome website. So I worked at Saatchi & Saatchi, right? So the best designers in London. So I basically begged them, or maybe flirted just a little bit, to get a website. I didn't pay any money for the website. In fact, I launched the business with no money whatsoever, nothing. So that obviously helped. And the name, The Proposers, kind of says what it does, right? And that's it. I did all those things, and then I started getting PR. So it all started coming in from that point. With the PR, actually, the first thing I got was the Mirror, the Times, the FT, and I think I was in the Telegraph as well. And they all just talked about how unique and random this new business was in London. So unique selling point. So to get better clients, you need a USP, right? So no one's going to talk about you. The press won't talk about you unless you've got something emotional to say, whether you've got something unique to say. It's just got to be different, right? You can't they're not going to talk about you otherwise. You can't do everything for everyone. So like I mentioned yesterday, I could be a wedding planner 10 times over, right? So I've got 1,200 clients and they're all getting married, but I didn't really want to do that. I want to be niche at what I do. There's no one else really doing it, so I just need to be the best I can be. And then maybe we'll just discuss doing something else. So personalisation is key. This is coming in terms of media. So a client came in and he said, she loves cats. She absolutely loves cats. He must have said it about 20 million times. So I'm going to have to do a cat proposal. Now, I hate cats. I'm 100% allergic. So I found a cat cafe in Shoreditch. There is such a thing as, eating afternoon tea, eating cakes and stroking cats. That's what people do. So I hired out this place. I made 50 waiter outfits that cats could wear. And then I put a ring around one of its neck. The girl came in, they had afternoon tea. She found the cat with the ring. When he proposed, a jazz singer came out and sung a little jolly cat song about them. And she absolutely loved it. It was the best thing in her world. And And yeah, I mean, it's all about personalisation. Now, are the press going to talk about that? Yeah, because it's weird. She loved it, we loved it, we all got press, they were happy, so it's the truth. Competition. I guess most people have competition. I'm quite lucky to not have too much competition. People have tried, obviously, but it just hasn't worked out. I think you really need a structure in this type of business. So you just got to make sure you stand out. So if you're a cake maker, what do you specialise in? You don't do all cakes. So do you do vegan cakes? Do you do gluten cakes? Do you do biodegradable packaging? Is that what you're famous for? Like, you have to have something different about you, or you're just the same as everyone else. So just find your USP. Right, the pros and cons of media. So the saying is true, there's no such thing as bad publicity. We did a really cute proposal, but the headline was, "Is this the most cruel marriage proposal yet?" So you think you could be probably devastated with that. No, I wasn't, actually. It got people to watch it. This is the Daily Mail. They're never going to say anything nice. They want to entice you to come in. The article was amazing. The pictures were amazing. Everyone loved it. What wasn't amazing is the comments, because you get every weirdo around the world on Daily Mail making horrible comments. The client saw the comments, so he was up for doing press. Not everyone wants press, okay? So a lot of the time we can't talk about the proposals that we do, especially the high net worth ones. But lots of people do want press, and they want to show off because they've done something cool. So this guy was up for press. They interviewed him. We had all the assets, all great. Then they got a lot more comments than what it says there, 61. Daily Mail had to delete half the comments. And I think they get that all the time, every day on most of their articles. But he was upset, and it kind of then ruined his proposal, because what he thought was so cool and lovely and unique to them, other people were slagging off. So I had to comfort him and just say, these people are just not normal. They've got nothing better to do with their time, and they're probably jealous of you. But he did make his girlfriend study for an interview for 2 weeks, which was a fake interview. And it was in the Gherkin, and we had an actor, and he was like asking her work-related questions that she studied for. Then the questions got harsher and weirder, to the point that then he was asking her random questions about her personal life, and she was just shocked, and she was like, this is bizarre. And then he got a phone call, and he was like, why? I'm just talking to my CEO, can you watch our company video? Then the video come up about why he loves her. And then she's laughing and crying, she doesn't know what to do with herself. He bursts through the door with flowers and proposes. She loved it. She absolutely loved it. And all these clients are different. So I try and say to them sometimes, I don't know if the girl's going to like it, but this girl loved it. So fair enough, each to your own. So commit to what you're saying. I had the fake story at the beginning. I've now integrated my brother's story as well, because that's true. But at the end of the day, I can't now say I started it any other way. And is it right for your brand? So we do get a lot of people, we get phone calls all the time from like Women's Weekly, Women's Own and stuff. We turn it down because no women spend money with us, and especially not 50-year-old women. So they're not our target audience, so therefore I'm not going to waste my time, an hour, I guess, in the interview. I'm not going to give the content that I could really just keep that content and use it for GQ, which is our target audience. Press, okay. So this is how... Okay, the press came to us quite a lot, but I suppose you guys have got to go to the press, I'd say, most of the time. So I would first of all create a list of relevant journalists and just have a spreadsheet with all the different tabs. So the weeklies, the dailies, the monthlies, because then you know who to contact and when. You can get all the contact details online. LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitter everyone says is dead, but that's not for journalists. So, and it's up to date. So all these journalists, they move from one newspaper to the next all the time. So you can never keep up with it. So you can buy a list of relevant data, but it goes out of, it's just not relevant really after like a week or two because everyone's moved. So I would create that yourself. It's absolutely fine to contact journalists via social media. I think they prefer it, to be honest with you. I would say don't write a press release. No one writes press releases anymore. It's really dull. If you're sending a press release to a journalist, he or she knows that you've sent that to everyone. That's not unique. You haven't given them the story. You need to make it personalised to them. So I would just send a short, sharp email with an awesome subject line that's not salesy, with a really cool paragraph, and then They're never going to read your email. They get hundreds of submissions every day. But what they will read is if you just bold a couple of the words. So if they're just scanning through, they can go, proposal planner, really crazy cat proposal. Okay, this is interesting. And then you're just saying, can I just have a quick 5 minutes to see if this is going to be of interest to you? And then lo and behold, they will call if it's of interest to them. And then they might say, can you get me a press release? Or can you get me a case study? Can you send me the content? But I just wouldn't bother doing press releases anymore. It's really out of fashion. Right, okay, so what's going to come up here now is a video. It's 45 seconds. It's not a very good video. But what we did was a guy came into us and he said, look, my girlfriend loves Friends, the programme. So we were like, let's do a Friends theme proposal. Always wanted to do that. He didn't have a huge budget, so we just had a park in London, and we hired the sofa from Friends, and we hired the lamp, and we just decorated it with some candles and fairy lights. Really kind of low budget but cute. We had a couple of West End singers come out and sing "I'll Be There For You" a cappella, so that's nice. She loved it, said yes. We didn't put that on social media until a month later when we realised that Friends, the people in the cast, were going to reunite because apparently they're going to do a film. So we then launched it on that day. This has been in every single country in the world, I can't even tell you. It went completely viral. This is only 45 seconds that my intern cut, so you get the gist.
Job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in the second gear. When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to pour, I'll be there for you. Like I've been there before, I'll be there for you. So there for me too. I'll be there for you. When the rain starts to pour, I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you.
That's pretty much all that happened. But it was associated to Friends, so we just waited to put it out. It's not that exciting, but it went everywhere. No joke, it went on every country was talking about it. They're not talked about it a lot, so it's just good when things go viral. We're actually doing a Harry Potter proposal idea with King's Cross Hotel Renaissance at the moment because that was filmed in Harry Potter, all of the films. So they're really excited about doing that, and lots of exciting things are going to happen. Everyone loves Harry Potter, it's a no-brainer. Hopefully we're going to get lots of people come through that. Okay, radio. If you want to be on radio, which I think is a really good target market for you, certain ones, BBC pretty much own half of it and Global own the other half. So Global are things like Heart, Capital. So if you want to get a younger audience, they're the people you want to speak with. There's absolutely no harm in contacting them directly, getting their details on LinkedIn and just saying, I would love to be your go-to person to talk about wedding cakes or whatever it's going to be. Never turn down an opportunity. There's so many people that can also talk. You just need to be good at what you're talking about. BBC have a big database, so BBC Worcester will talk to BBC Manchester. And if I was on the Manchester one at 7 in the morning, 7:10, I'll probably get another call from BBC Liverpool. Oh, I just heard your Manchester one. Can you come and say the same thing on this one? Totally different audience. Millions of people listen to it. So just never turn it down. You're always good as your last interview, so they all hear it. They all hear everything you say. And if you're good, you stay on the books. Just keep it going. Always read up on your subject. With radio presenters, they call you with about 10 minutes to go. So they wake up in the morning, they get all the press for the day, and they look at all the headlines. And depending on what the headline was that day, it could be about Meghan and Harry got engaged. The phone's going to go wild that day because everyone wants you to comment on it. So always read up on your subject. And the other day, someone did ask me to talk about wedding cakes. I don't know anything about wedding cakes, but I wasn't going to turn it down. I asked what the article was that they saw, and I read up on it, got my facts, spoke. It's not hard. They just want something interesting to say. The producers want experts on their books, so this is just going back to really knowing what you're talking about. Okay, TV. So I'm going to show you this. I don't know why, because it's really embarrassing. But I have my own TV show, and we're going to talk about getting an agent and signing a contract. But we went with it. It was a TV show and it was quite exciting and people kept asking us stuff, and so they did this TV advert. It's 1 minute long. The first 30 seconds is the cheesiest thing I've ever seen in my life. As you can see, I'm not an actress whatsoever. It was just really embarrassing, and this went out on every single Sky channel. That's it.
Wait! Let's make this perfect.
Perhaps a dinner?
She loves poetry.
Paris!
Yeah?
With a romantic picnic?
Let's do it in the Alps.
She would love that.
We can fly you in by helicopter.
Have we got the ring?
There's something missing.
Your girlfriend!
A proposal is more than just a question.
If we get goosebumps on our arm, we know it's a good idea.
A flash mob of puppies.
A car, a boat, a helicopter, and then the travel.
I want it to be perfect for them. No, don't! Oh my God, he's about to do it.
Will you marry me?
Will you marry me?
Fancy being my wife? Just say yes! Yes!
Absolutely amazing.
Meet the Proposers. Wednesday the 12th of February, brand new and exclusive to Lifetime.
That was it. There was a longer one as well, equally embarrassing, and everyone I know saw it. But the TV show was fun. You can actually watch it still on our website, and it's all over YouTube. And I think a couple of people said that actually I was interviewing for a new job recently, and all of them watch every single episode back to back, and they love it. So yeah, it's fun. Okay, so television. There's different things. Maybe not all of you want a TV show, and a lot of your clients probably wouldn't want to feature on some of the TV shows. So you don't just have to do a reality TV show. It's also news channels and live talk shows. So I've been on things like Loose Swimming, stuff like that. The men don't watch that. There's no point doing it, but I wasn't going to turn it down. It was like an hour out of my day, they give you hair and makeup, something to do, and everyone go, oh, wow, you're on ITV. Another great link to your website. It doesn't matter what it's about, it's a great link. In fact, I've taken quite a lot of the links off because they weren't so relevant, and we want more higher end people, so some of that stuff's gone now, but you've got to start somewhere. An agent can help. If you want to get a TV show, you kind of need to get an agent, but we'll talk about that. You can contact producing companies. I wouldn't go direct to a broadcaster, they won't listen. If you've got a cool idea, I'm sure some people do, I would go direct to them. But what I wouldn't do is just email them. Once I emailed a company that did Don't Tell the Bride about Don't Tell the Girlfriend. Lo and behold, 1 year later, Don't Tell the Girlfriend came out. And I was pretty gutted, they probably just nicked my idea. Be careful about what you're signing up to. Okay, that's that. And you don't get paid for TV appearances, so you can do all these things. The most I think I've ever got is £250. It's not really about the money, it's about the exposure. Proposal planning isn't a thing yet. People don't really know about it, so you just never know who's going to see it. And yes, I do turn down some of the women's stuff, but the women are the people that love us. Like our Instagram is full of women. It's not men. Men can't follow us. They can't like it. So their girlfriends are going to see it. So it's mainly women that do follow us. Book deal. Okay, so I had a couple of ideas for books, and I went to my agent and they were like, we don't do books, so you need to contact somebody else. So I contacted quite a few book publishers and not one of them replied to me. And I had a TV show, I had all this press, and like people were interested, but they weren't interested and no one replied. It wasn't until an intern of mine turned up and was like, oh, I know a book publisher, why don't you go and meet him? Out of the kindness of his heart, he just met me. He didn't really want to meet me, but he was meeting me for half an hour to just basically give me some tips. So I met him. That half an hour turned into an hour. He seemed pretty interested in what I was doing. That hour turned into 2 hours. By the time I left, he'd signed me. That was that. So it's all about inspiring them. It's about you as a brand. Like, you're the face behind the brand. And if they love you, then they're going to want to, help you. So I don't really have too much to say about books if you want a book. You can self-publish, but only a handful of people have actually really made it, because if you have an agent, they'll sort out all the marketing and it's just going to go to a wider audience. Usually, if you're going to approach a book agent, for a book agent, you have to have written 4 chapters at least with a synopsis. Now, obviously, no one wanted to listen to me because I just had some ideas. I didn't have down writing, and I'm not a writer. So the person that I'm with now, we've got a ghostwriter to write the stuff because I can't pretend that I can write. Pick the best agent for your book idea. There's lots of people. Luckily, this guy I got in touch with, he's like the number 3 in England, so I kind of lucked out there. Agents, right. So they take 20% of everything. If you don't want to do that, that's a lot of money, especially when you get a TV deal. Going back to the TV deal, actually, that took 6 weeks. I got paid for 6 weeks. It took 6 weeks to film. Got paid for 6 weeks. It took 6 months to film. So we didn't get any extra money, and it took 6 months. So then I couldn't work on the business at all. So it wasn't that great in terms of money, but it did get sold to 12 countries around the world. So every time it gets shown, we make royalties, which is not a lot, but still something. There's some agents that take 30%, so I'd be careful on that. Right. They get hundreds of submissions every day, so you just have to do something different, especially if you're going in with the angle of wedding planning. You need to do something, well, you know, what's unique about you. So I work with broadcasters and producers to get the best deal, yeah. Only 1% of people try and will actually get, you know, an agent, so it's very hard to get an agent. Okay, final slide. So every successful brand has to have its why. So why get out of bed in the morning? Why do all the hours in the office? Why herd a group of puppies around a park in the rain? But why do we do it? Because we love it. We're happy. We want to do these things for the client. The clients love it. If they're happy, we're happy. So that's really important. Launching this business, definitely, I know I've got all this press, but launching this business has definitely been like pretty hard. I've had to go through legal courts. I've had to restructure more than once. I've had friends and family just not believing in me. So running a business is really, really, really tough, but it's rewarding and it's what you get back from it, and that's why you do it. So I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm going to leave you with a proposal. Again, it's not the best proposal, but it's about media. So bookatable.com, which most of you all know, it's like how you book restaurants and get inspiration. They came to us for a Valentine's Day campaign. And they just wanted to use one of their restaurants as something a bit quirky and do a proposal. So we got a client who wanted to do something a bit quirky. Again, I'm showing you all the mean ones. They're not all mean. Some of them are sweet. Book a Table ruined the ending of it, which is really annoying because they took all the emotion away from it. But it's a promotional video for them and it's fun. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions after, I'm here.
You know how much I love you. I've always loved you, and I always love you. You're such a wonderful, beautiful, and caring girl. You've been there for me in bad times. I can't imagine my life without you. Make me the happiest man on earth. Say yes. Will you marry me?
That's basically it. Thanks. I could see some of you crying there, so that's good. Made you laugh and there was some emotion, and that's the whole point of our job. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you've got any questions, you can ask me now or later. Hi.
I had several requests for proposals in Tuscany, where I'm coming from, but we never invested or done any of them because we just felt that we were not making much money of it. So how you resolve it? Because you said your proposal are going from 1,000 to 250,000, and objectively it takes a lot of work, a lot of planning, but if you have a proposal for 1,000 euro, you're not going to make much money out of it. So how did you resolve that problem?
Yeah, so that happened at first, but obviously now I've got a team of 5, loads of suppliers, loads of cheaper deals, and we do loads of them, so actually you do make quite a bit of money from it. I hear this all the time from venues and from wedding planners. It's probably not, you're not going to make much money from it. If you do timesheets, you'll realise you probably won't. But because we already have the structure, we do. And this is why loads of proposals of planners have come and then gone because they can't do it. So I've learnt the hard way, and I've never lost any money. But now we have a warehouse basically in Clapham. It's filled with props. So every candle, petal, lantern, Christmas trees. I think I even saw a unicorn in there the other day. There's all sorts of stuff. So if a hotel called us at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and one of their clients wanted to propose at 7 o'clock in the afternoon, we could be there in 20 minutes with all the props. So if that's 1,000 or 2,000, whatever, we're making pure profit for a couple of hours work. Hi.
How far in advance are your clients calling? Because that must add stress and expense. I
Yeah, 2 weeks. So quite often we have to cancel our plans, but luckily I have a team of 5 now, so it doesn't, you don't have to work every weekend. And actually Mondays is the most popular day. I don't know why. People's anniversaries, people are on holiday. We have quite a lot of Americans, Chinese that come, they don't know anything about London. And we don't just do stuff in London, we do it all around the world. I mean, there was 1 month where there was 8 abroad. We don't go to them all. If they've got the budgets, we'll go. So I've been everywhere with my clients, but not everyone has the budget. Most people come in with like 2.5, 5 grand, and they want a lot for that. That's a lot of money to them. So, but we can give them a lot because we've got all the deals set up. Hi.
Hello, I'm Lydia from Lovely Dear Weddings. I was just wondering, have you ever had a groom propose and then the bride says no?
No. I knew someone was going to say that. That's the first question everyone ever asked me. No. Like, no one's ever said it. I know that 2 people have broken up, and one of them, I can't tell you who, but was basically sleeping with a famous celebrity, and he came back 6 months later and proposed to someone else. Yeah. So far, we've got 100% success record. I mean, I don't know if they went home afterwards and did it, because when you do something like this, you're not going to say no. So there's a bit of pressure there. So sometimes that could be a bit harsh, but they shouldn't do something like that if the girl wouldn't like it. Hi.
Hi Daisy, thanks, that was amazing. So you've obviously done really well with the TV show and the media and all of that coverage, so you tick that box. So what would you say, where are you going next? What's your sort of take 5-year goals then? Where do you see the business going next?
So I want to obviously do more high-end ones like everyone. I've kind of come to the realisation that Proposers is a fun brand that does a certain amount in budgets, but I'm never going to get those £1 million people with those budgets. So I'm probably going to set up a sub-company that's probably my name. It just shows that I am the expert. So I'm probably going to do something like that, but I still want to stick with Proposals, just higher-end ones.
Anyone else?
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daisy.
Sorry. Come after.